Hello, my name is Corrina Tapia. I'm in the MCRS program, and today I'm presenting my analysis of mitigation banks in Southern California, how different perceptions of the tool impact its effectiveness, and what this can mean for the Wildlands Conservancy. A mitigation bank is defined as a parcel of land that is publicly or privately owned and contains a stock of credits. These credits can be species or habitat. And in exchange for protecting and managing these lands in perpetuity, a bank sponsor can sell these credits to developers to allow them to offset their impacts and allow development to continue. At the heart of this project is a look at this system of credit exchange. There are two statutes that require mitigation, the Clean Water Act and the Endangered Species Act, both of which are administered by state and federal agencies. Banks slowly evolved out of habitat conservation plans, and they're only one of many conservation and mitigation tools. With any tool, it's important to turn an analytical eye to them and ask how they are working and if they're working, if they're being used appropriately, and if they're understood at a fundamental level, because ultimately that impacts its effectiveness. I have two research questions that I answered in this project. The first, how do individuals associated with banks characterize the banks? So what are the common themes that they use to define them? From this, my second question is, how can the Wildlands Conservancy incorporate what does and doesn't work with the mitigation bank into their alternative, the Sacred Lands Network? And how could this impact the Bluff Lake Reserve and its desire to bring in 2 endangered species? With any conservation or mitigation effort, there are numerous stakeholders that are involved, and this can increase exponentially depending on the project and the scale in which it works in the timeline. And this can also complicate the process. Each of these participants will have different investments in the project, and they all contribute to how the tool works and if it's able to achieve its goal. And so I'm looking at how mitigation banks are perceived by different participants, and specifically focusing on 6 banks throughout 3 counties in Southern California, ranging from one of the smallest banks, the Delhi Sands Flower Loving Fly, to one of the largest in the US, the Peterson Ranch Mitigation Bank in LA County. Participants were either associated with one of these banks or familiar with them. There were 9 in total, and these were grouped into either individuals, banking entities, or resource conservation districts or municipal water districts. Individuals were a catch-all category. They didn't have to be actively involved in a bank. The banking entities were involved with the direct sale of credits, and the RCD-MWD represented a common stakeholder group. Individuals were recorded during a 21-question interview. Transcripts were reviewed, and participants and responses were coded in 3 different ways. And I'll be presenting on the pattern codes, so the themes or conceptual ideas. When it came to how groups defined banking values, there were some common themes that arose among all the groups. Those are shown in the red box. But what responses gave rise to those themes varied among the groups. When it came to banking success, there was generally consensus among all the groups that mitigation banks streamlined the process. They worked at a large scale, and they're one of a few set of tools that can provide advanced mitigation for future impacts. Consensus started to deteriorate when we talk about failures or shortcomings. While some perceived certain aspects of banking to be a success or a benefit, others considered a shortcoming, such as their ability to achieve no temporal loss. The biggest disagreement happened when discussing conservation value. While some participants believed that commodification and profit were necessary for conservation, others were strongly against this, and this was within and among groups. Overall, there was little to no consensus on the value of mitigation banks as a tool. It was believed that the application process should be changed to be more biologically sound and have better engagement from stakeholders and better measurables. When the Wildlands Conservancy is looking to establish the Sacred Lands Network, They can make it an in-house tool with strong stakeholder engagement, a financial strategy that doesn't require a large endowment, and incorporate outdoor education. I'd like to thank all the participants, my advisors, friends and family. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out using my contact information. Thank you so much.